You're listening to Hawk Talk with former Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus. Powered by Seahawks.com. Now, here's your host, Nasser Kyobe.
Welcome into another edition of Hawk Talk. The Seahawks get after the Arizona Cardinals at Lumen Field, beating them 44-22. And it was not that close.
Nah. Felt like 50-0, honestly.
What this team is doing the last couple of weeks is unreal. Mm-hmm. They are absolutely, some would say, okay, Arizona's a team you should beat. Sure. Mm-hmm. They have not been blown out this season. And what happened on Sunday was a beatdown of epic proportions. I say it every week, and I'm going to keep saying it every week because this is what we're seeing. A style that no one wants to play, threw not around. But what I'm seeing right now, the last three words that I've been saying that Mike McDonald preaches, decisive, relentless, shocking, that's what it was. Relentless, every play. I've played on a couple teams that got blown out, Bump.
Me
and
too.
when you find yourself in that 35-0, you're sitting there and be like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And you're literally, because it's like, it doesn't let up.
And you're like, there's no way out. There's no way out. We just got to run the clock.
You're looking up there and you go, damn, there's 12 minutes left in the second quarter?
Yeah. And the coaches are quiet on the sideline. The vibe is all off. I've been beat down too.
Oh, yeah. No, you get screamed at the first two drives coming off, and then the next three, you're like, all right, Bump, well.
You just accept it.
We got to figure out. That's what's going down. The Seahawks absolutely taking down the Arizona Cardinals. Let's get right into it. What had happened?
See, what had happened was
on Hawk Talk.
Seahawks coming out on fire right from the jump, essentially. Offense gets the ball, first drive, 7 plays, 65 yards, ending with a 43-yard touchdown to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Another deep threat. We're going to break that play down later. That made the score 7-0. And Bump, the crazy thing is there was a time, unbelievable to think about it now, that the Seahawks could not score on the opening drive.
It was wild.
Unbelievable. 22 straight games without an opening drive touchdown. Those days are gone. The Seahawks broke that streak in week 2. They now have 4 this season, including the past 2 weeks. So it's really refreshing to see because the Seahawks team playing with a lead is really dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. You feel good about what they do when they have the lead. So they started the game with the lead. You mentioned the 43-yard touchdown to Jackson Smith-Njigba. And then ensuing drive, Mike McDonald dialed up a great blitz. He got Tyrese Knight, hit Kyobe Brissett. He fumbled. D-Law picked that thing up 34 yards. And it wasn't even a sprint. It was like
casual,
like three-quarter speed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Got into that end zone. That made the score 14-0. We're going to break that one down as well. The Seahawks defense got a stop on the following possession and were picked up where they left off. They went down the field, 9 plays, 81 yards, ending with a George Halani touchdown. Nice to see him get the call. It was funny hearing his story. He's on the sideline. He said he heard, Jorge, you're in. He's like, me? And he got in that thing. He's not used to getting the ball in that situation, but he did his thing, scored to make the score 21-0.
Love it. It's actually his second touchdown this year, if you guys remember the kickoff in Pittsburgh where he got that. But this is his first rushing touchdown, so cool to see that. And then it's like deja vu, Bump. This is something I don't think anyone's seen because it's never happened, for one. Mike McDonald dials up another great blitz. Tyrese Knight hits Kyobe Brissett. He fumbles. DeMarcus Lawrence picks it up, runs it back for a 22-yard touchdown. That made the score 28-0. And no words for that. I mean, McDonald came out, Tyrese Knight came out. This is the first 2 times they've dialed up these blitzes this season. They were different, but same result. And for the ball to just bounce that way, it is hard for that to happen in stride. And DeMarcus Lawrence, man, just the way you handle the rock, because a lot of times you got guys kicking it, it's bouncing everywhere. No, he was smooth with it, picked it up in stride into the end zone. Defense gets another stop on the following possession, and the offense kept the pressure going, Bump, with another 6-play, 76-yard drive, ending with a 6-yard touchdown. Zach Charbonnet, that made the score 35-zip, and the route was on.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp had a big play during that drive too, right? 67 yards. Sam Darnold looking down the field, finding his guy. Yeah, the route was on. The game was it was pretty much over 8 minutes and 33 seconds into the second quarter. I don't think I felt this way in a long time watching a Seahawks game.
Well, I guess the Saints game, maybe the Commanders game, depending how you look at it.
That feels like, you're right, but this one just felt different though.
You're right.
Because you get 2 scores from that defense.
Right.
You know, the offense is like, Sam only threw the ball 12 times.
Right.
12 times.
Right.
That's nuts, man. Now the second half was a little sloppy. The Seahawks, they turned the ball over twice, allowing 2 scoring drive from the Cardinals. Some of that can be fixed, the turnovers. It will be fixed this week. I was on our show today, and McDonald described it as an operational mistakes, with the snap and all that good stuff. But they'll be all right. The Hawks would add 2 field goals in the fourth quarter and hold on for a 44-22 of victory. The Hawks rushed for a season-high 198. Should have been 204, but those kneel downs kind of jacked them up on 46 carries. And, it was a good overall day.
And if you guys were listening to Cooper Kupp's press conference, he was poking fun at Drew Lock for going too far back on those knees to try to get within 200 yards. But I love to see that because the Seahawks have been trying to figure out the running game all season. And you're trying to get out of that game. Obviously, you don't need to throw the ball, but to be able to still run the ball as effectively they did, that's great. Hawks defense, 5 sacks, 10 QB hits on Jacoby Brissett. This was a beatdown from the jump. And when we talk about domination in the last 2 weeks, the Seahawks have outscored opponents 69-14 in the first half the last 2 weeks. This team is playing some great football, Bump. And jump into these next-gen stats, man, because it's giving an extra layer of how well these Seahawks are playing.
Yeah, the Seahawks defense generated 7 pressures and 3 sacks when blitzing in their matchup with the Cardinals. The rookie linebacker, well, not a rookie, his second year, Tyrese Knight, recorded 2 sacks on 2 blitz attempts efficient. DeMarcus Lawrence recorded his 2 defensive touchdowns on blitzes, despite Seattle only blitzing 20% of dropbacks. That's actually higher than their league average too, or their yearly average. In line with their season average, a little close. When sending 4 or fewer pass rushes, the Seahawks pressured Cardinals quarterbacks on 37.2% of dropbacks, accounting for 16 of their 23 total pressures and 2 of their 5 sacks.
That's pretty good. That's a good way to live.
Great way to live. Healthy living right there.
I mean, getting to the quarterback without bringing pressure, and when you do, you hit home runs every time. I love to see that. And then we talked about the running game and running the carry. In the game where the Seahawks led by double digits for 55 game minutes, the Seahawks offense called the run play on 78% of their plays, the third highest rate in the next-gen stats era since 2016. Obviously, that happens when you're beating down a team like the Seahawks were, but still, it's refreshing because they were still able to do things with that. On the team's 46 carries across 7 different ball carries, the Seahawks gained 198 yards, 6 explosive runs, 13 combined missed tackles. The offense led by Zach Charbonnet, 14 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown, including a season-high 5 missed tackles force. It was all good. It was all roses for the Seahawks, Bump. But when you look at it in totality, what did you learn from this game?
That the fast starts aren't a mistake. There's something in their preparation, in the scripts, if you have one. I'm sure Kubiak has one, in the focus to where starting off slow is no longer an option, and it's not who they are anymore. There are going to be a game or two where they start slow. But you mentioned the streak, 22 weeks without having a first drive score. That's over. It's going to happen eventually again, but the slow starts isn't who they are anymore, and I like that.
Yeah, and for me, it's just consistency. To do this week in and week out, I don't care if you're supposed. First of all, it's the NFL for one, and to do this to teams, you probably should have beat the Commanders and the Cardinals, but to do it as decisively as they did, that's when you see great teams versus good teams, right? Good teams might eke out a win, 7 points, play a little sloppy. No, the Seahawks right now, I'm telling you, man, something special is happening here, and there was tons of people on the field making plays, playmakers.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Playmakers.
Show them what time it is.
Holy catfish!
Well, we'll talk about the second-year guy, Tyrese Knight out of UTEP. He was balling. And I love his story, too, because he came in, he was starting this year. Him and Drake Thomas have been battling all year for reps, obviously, when Ernest Jones is healthy. And Drake Thomas kind of took over that role in a starting way. But Tyrese Knight has stayed locked in. He came in the Commanders game, had a great game, led the team in tackles, comes back on Sunday, 8 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 QB hits, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 tackles for loss. And just the timing, right? It's not a mistake. You got to time blitzes up the right way. Yeah. And when you're getting to the quarterback, because you still got to secure the tackle. I mean, that's a bonus, the fumble and the returning for a touchdown. But the way he hit Jacoby Brissett before that arm was moving forward, just love to see him locked in. And I think what I saw the most out of him was pulling the trigger and going and being physical. And I think that's what his game lacked. We saw it on Sunday. And when you're having all these linebackers playing at that level, I'm telling you, the depth on this team of playmakers is crazy on defense right now.
And I was one of the guys who was surprised that the Hawks didn't make a move at the trade deadline to add depth to this position. What does this tell me? They know what the heck they're looking at when it comes to evaluating these players. They said, we good with Tyrese Knight. Drake Thomas is going to be fine. They'll hold it down until Ernest gets back. O'Toole got in the game as well. They're good at evaluating these guys. DeMarcus Lawrence had himself a career day. 4 tackles, a half sack, 3 quarterback hits, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 return for touchdown, both of them things. D-Law's the 4th player since 1920 with multiple fumble returns in a game. John Al Nasser, 3 in 1920 for the Akron Pros. Fred Evans, 2 in 1948 for the Bears. And Jeremy Chin, 2 in 2020 for the Panthers. He says he's never had a game like this before. And my man's a veteran. He's been around a long time.
It was just smooth, man. Just scoop and score, not in stride. To not break stride both times and be able to just jog in the end zone. DeMarcus Lawrence, we've talked about him a lot this year. When he missed the game early in the season, that impacted this defense. Yeah. He had a great game against Jacksonville. He's a veteran, shows what he can do each and every week. So love to see that there. The rookie, Niki Munwari, man. He is balling as well. 9 tackles, half a sack, his first partial sack of his NFL career. 4 passes defended, 1 QB hit. He's playing multiple positions on this defense, and when he's out there, it's special, man, because he can lock down tight ends, he can lock down in the slot, he's physical, he can blitz. Kind of everything that was advertised when they drafted him in the 2nd round. He probably had a first-round grade, and love what we're seeing from the rookie.
Man, these the first 2 picks in his draft are balling this year, man. Zabel and Niki Munwari. Nice to see him. Zach Charbonnet, 14 carries for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. He just gets downhill. Like there's no games with Zach Charbonnet. Look, this is where the run's designed to go. I'm going to get there, and if someone does miss a block, I'm going to hop over them and get into the end zone. And on his touchdown run, I got to show this kid some love, this man some love, because I've been critical of him. Anthony Bradford lit somebody up. There's a double team, lights the guy up, and then climbs to the 2nd level, gets a linebacker, 75, I see you.
Yeah, and Zach Charbonnet, if you're on defense, I hope you're strapped up, got your mouthpiece in, and you're going correct, because he will run you over if not. Sam Darnold, usually we lead off with him because he has been putting video game numbers out there. He was still efficient. He's 10 of 12, 178, 1 touchdown, 1 really unlucky interception. That's been the story of all his interceptions this year. QB rating of 111. Sam Darnold is the only player in NFL history to record a passer rating of 100 or higher in at least 6 games of a player's first 9 with a team multiple times. He did that last year with Minnesota as well. So Sam Darnold, good as advertised. He's playing at MVP level. And when you're beating someone down that much and you only throw 12 times, you're having a good day. It's a good day.
A great day. Jason had another great day. 5 receptions for 93 yards on 6 targets. Man, I wanted him to get a hundo. 5 games in a row would have been 100 yards, but it's okay. He had 1 touchdown for 43 yards. Jason is the 8th player in franchise history with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He became the 26th player in NFL history to reach 1,000 receiving yards in his first 9 games. He became the 3rd player in the Super Bowl era with at least 75 receiving yards in each of his first 9 games of a season, joining Antonio Brown and Michael Irvin. He is now top 5 for most receiving yards by a player in his team's first 9 games of the season, the Super Bowl era, with 1,041. And he got going quick. First half, he had 82. And first drive, he reestablished himself. And that was what was impressive to me, is that they want to get him the football.
Yeah.
You would think defense is going to be like, listen, this is not going to happen. We're going to make sure we're on top of him, maybe bracket him. And what opened him up was actually Rashid Shaheed going across the field. Made Budda Baker have to bite down, respect that speed. Over the top, they did a little box out, caught the rock for his touchdown. Jason, this is what he does.
Pretty good football player.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's almost had more receiving yards than he did all of last season, and it took him way more receptions to get there. That's the crazy thing about what he's doing. He's just so incredibly efficient, and there is not a better – I would love someone to show me the numbers out there, a better combination between quarterback to wide receiver than what we're seeing because of the production, the targets, how we're getting there. It's unreal.
Right.
We'll make sure to have a quick breakdown for that later this week, because they're playing at an MVP level, and I love what we're seeing out of those two. And the big ups to 27, Reek Woolen. Not us, obviously, but outside of this building, I think he's got a lot of heat. And Reek Woolen is playing some really good football. He came back against some Commanders, played some really good ball. He's stacking wins, like Coach McDonald's like to say, week after week. 3 tackles, 2 passes defended. I thought he looked really good yesterday. And again, the depth of this defense everywhere. Doesn't matter, okay, you didn't have Josh Jobe. You don't have Ernest Jones. You don't have Julian Love. You don't have Jaron Reed. Okay. The next man up still. There's so many dudes on this defense. I love what we're seeing. Bump, wide receiver roundup.
All right, JSN, like we mentioned, 93 yards, 1 touchdown, along of 43. Cooper Kupp had 2 receptions for 74, along of 67. Arroyo had 1 catch. Rashid had 1 catch. Kenneth Walker had 1, and Callerup had a target. I was hoping he had his catch, man. We interviewed him on Thursday. He seems like a good dude.
Now, looking at this, you would assume that it was a rough night for the Seahawks.
Nah, not
it was
at all.
completely opposite way because of the defensive touchdown. So good to see there. That'll bring us, we've kind of touched on it a little bit. That'll bring us to our plays of the game. JSN has been a staple in this segment, and he will be for the remainder of the year because they keep making plays. Sam Darnold finding Jackson Smith-Njigba for a 43-yard touchdown.
At the Arizona 43. Opening drive by the Seahawks, play fake, and Darnold's going to roll left. Has time, going to let it fly. Got a man deep, reaching up, touchdown, Seahawks! And guess who? Jackson Smith-Njigba with the touchdown reception, tightly covered, but dropping that baby in the bucket. Sam Darnold from 43 out, the Hawks up 6-0.
Yeah, so you're in a balanced formation right now. You have Sam Darnold under center, 2 tight ends on the wings, and 2 receivers. JSN left. You have Rashid to the right, and K9 in the backfield. So what this does is that motion is similar, right? When a lot of times when the Hawks do that motion, it's going to be a run. You're going to take care of the end, and you're going to hand the football off. They have some great actors on this team. That's exactly what happens. You fake the handoff. The tight end takes care of the end right there. It's a perfect call for what the defense is trying to do as well. All right, you got your linebacker on a blitz, and then the other linebacker has to fill that area. So now you got the middle of the field wide open. So essentially the Arizona Cardinals are playing 4 deep, right? You got 4 guys dropping back into coverage. The rule for the Cardinals is the safety to the far side has to take the deep crosser if it's coming your side. That's exactly what happens with Buda Baker. He drops down. You see Rashid, one of the fastest guys in the game. You have to drop on him. So now let's focus on JSN. JSN widens his corner right at the numbers to create some space, get him away from that safety, buys himself some time. Now he gets vertical. Sam Darnold rolls out that thing, fakes the handoff. K9 picks up the block, and now he sees one-on-one. I'm going to let this thing fly to my receiver. JSN tracking the football, boxes the DB out, catches it right before the safety gets there, and the rest is history. If you look at the offensive line, it's just the action and the flow. Everything that the line is doing says, look, this is going to be a zone right type of look. That's what I mean when I say these guys are great actors. You get the line stepping to the right. You have your tight end taking care of the edge. This looks like a split zone, but you fake the handoff, you roll around, you flip the hips, you let it go, strike up the band, JSN with another touchdown.
I mean, again, we don't have enough words to talk about how good JSN has been, but for me, it's his ability to track the football, stay calm when the ball's in the air, control his body. It's elite. And then he's just smooth with it, right? And then the subtle box out right there, because again, he's never going to be a guy that's going to get called for offensive pass interference, just the way his body moves there. And honestly, the corner places pretty well until it's time to make a play. And that's right there, like I said, that subtle box out. And again, you just watch his body movement. It's all smooth. You know, sometimes I feel like lesser players, balls in the air, it gets kind of frantic, right? With their arms, with their movements. No, Jason is smooth. And then he gets a perfect throw from Sam Darnold. Safety's late getting over. It's a wrap. Touchdown, JSN. Stop me if you've seen that before. Because it is over and over again, and those guys are playing at an incredibly high level. But it's time to show some love to the defense, man. Tyrese Knight, we talked about it. Him and DeMarcus Lawrence were involved in 2 huge plays. We're going to take a look at the first one at Jacoby Brissett. Sacked by Tyrese Knight, fumbled. DeMarcus Lawrence picks it up, and he does the rest.
Omenwari, Bryant, all in the secondary. Bryant looks like he wants to blitz. He does. Brissett hits his back foot. He gets hit as he throws. The ball's picked up. It's going the other way. It's DeMarcus Lawrence. He's going to walk in. Touchdown Seahawks if it stands. Arizona is going to argue that Brissett's arm was going forward. It's now called a touchdown Seahawks. 32 yards, D-Law picks it up and takes it in. They'll replay, they'll look. Let's see if it stands. Getting there before the arm was coming forward. That was Tyrese Knight on the blitz.
We talk about dialing up the perfect blitz at the right time. This is exactly what happens, man. We mentioned that Mike Macdonald doesn't blitz a lot, bottom 4 or 5 when it comes to blitzing and sending guys, but you overwhelm the left side of this offensive line. Now, the Arizona Cardinals check in an eligible big man. He's a guy to the left of the formation for the Cardinals on the wing. They motioned him. They should have just kept him there, right? If I were Jacoby Brissett, I don't know if he has the freedom to do this. I would have been like, look, hot, yoga, whatever you got to say to say, look, you stay right there because the Hawks are clearly showing blitz from that side. You got Nick and Mawari who's going to creep down. So what happens is they just overwhelm the left side of the line if we're talking from the Arizona Cardinals perspective, right? You have Nick and Mawari blitzing off the end. If you just count the numbers, you have the center, the guard, and the tackle plus the wing guy. That's 4 guys over there. You factor in the running back into the situation, you have 5. But you know what? You got that wing guy who motions over. He's taking care of that side. And your center is taken care by or occupied by, I believe that is Murphy over there. So you send Nick Mawari off the edge. He cuts back into the middle. The running back has to take care of him. And then Tyrese just does the rest. It's just overwhelming that left side of the line. And then you know what happens when you run to the football, Nas? You might just get a gift. And that's what happened with D-Law.
1,000%. I have it written down here too, overwhelm. That's what happened. You overwhelm the protection. You bring more than they can block. I thought it was a great point if you would have kept the big man over there. You don't. And then Kyobe Bryant coming off the edge, Eamon Warrior over there, DeMarcus Lawrence getting inside. And a couple of things. For one, obviously, great play by Tyrese Knight. Can't say that enough. But what I love about D-Law, again, it seems so simple because he made it look so easy because he picks the ball up in stride. Shout out to my former high school coach, Coach Stewart, and Bill Hummel down there at Meadowdale at the time. Uh-huh. And you'd practice it when you're doing your turnover circuit, all that stuff. City versus country. This is a drill we did every day, right? If the ball's on the ground, if it's in the city, that means there's a ton of people around you. You just fall on it. If it's in the country, you pick that thing up and run it back. And it's just smooth. Yes, he gets a good bounce, but does not break stride in the end zone. Love what they did there. And again, when you dial stuff up and you hit, it's amazing, too, because you have more stuff on film now. Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams are looking at game film, and there's more stuff that they have to diagnose because of that, right? And you look at it, Brissett's trying to hit Trey McBride. I think that's who he was going to.
And he was open.
McBride, a little delayed, stays in their block, goes there. But again, when you blitz like that, you bring that kind of pressure, you got to get home. The Seahawks trying to keep everything in front in the secondary. So great play. Love what we said. Overwhelm the protection. That's all she wrote. And Jacoby Brissett, man, that's tough, man. He's played the Seahawks a couple times, and he's been abused almost every time. Back when he was playing with the Colts, they got whooped on the Sunday night football, like 40-something to 12. Last year in New England, he got sacked a bunch of times. So, yeah, the Seahawks have his number.
Hang in there, Jacoby.
They got it done. And, again, that sets up the best formation in football, victory formation.
Here comes the Seahawk offense onto the field and the Vikings defense trudging out there, knowing that one kneel down and the Seahawks are going to wind the clock down and win this one.
It's the victory formation on Hawk Talk.
Domination. Second week in a row, the Seahawks jump out to a 35-0 lead in the second quarter. Bump, this is National Football League. You're not supposed to be up 35-0 in the second quarter, man.
Nah.
This was the high school, running clock.
Yeah.
That's what was going down. Big thanks to Tyrese Knight, DeMarcus Lawrence, responsible for 14 points, 2 touchdowns on defense, and this unit's playing well.
I used to love a running clock in high school. Game be over by like 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Internet,
you be out of there, man. Hey, like you said, Tyrese Knight, DeMarcus Lawrence doing their thing, 14 points on the board. Sam Darnold only threw it 12 times because of the contributions from everybody. The running game got going. Got a $198 on 46 carries. They also outscored opponents 69-14 in the first half. The last 2 weeks, you do that, you're probably going to win those contests.
Yeah, and then who's dominating? Number 11, Jackson Smith and Jigba, breaking almost every single season record the Seahawks have in the history books, and he's going to continue to do that as the season goes on. The Seahawks have won 9 in a row against Arizona, 10 of the last 11. It has been ownership now at this point.
Yeah, they're playing at a different level, and they were missing some dudes. Jay Love wasn't there. Jay Reed wasn't there. Ernest wasn't there. Ernest wasn't there, and his replacement had a career day. The backups are doing more than just backing up. They're contributing, man. Hey, the table is set for a big one now. We didn't want to talk about it last week. We're saying focus on the Cardinals, and the guys did exactly that. But now, come on, 7-2 versus 7-2. You got the Rams.
As a Seahawks fan, as a football fan, there's nothing else that you could ask for than a matchup like this. Top of the division, both teams 7-2, a huge matchup down at SoFi Stadium. Michael Bumpus and I are going to have you covered with all the matchups as we get ready for that this weekend. It's going to be fun, Bump, and this is what it's about. And the Seahawks have a huge opportunity to really show the rest of the nation they're for real against a good football team. Seahawks beat down the Cardinals 44-22. He's Michael Bumpus. I'm Nasser. This has been Hawk Talk.